Hey guys, I'd like to say that during my narration of this video, I might sound a little bit off because I am a little bit under the weather. Other than that, I hope everyone's having a good Christmas or Christmas Eve, depending on when this video releases. All of these stories is true and are personal experiences. Some of the stories I might be actually using my friends' actual names, and others I might not enjoy. In middle school, I had this friend named Evan. I'm actually currently friends with him up to this day, but during middle school, he used to come up a lot to my house and used to stay all night a lot, and on a pretty regular basis. We would sneak out from time to time, just going around my little town where I live. We wouldn't go too far as we was pretty young, but we still would sneak out of the window. This night was no different. He came up, we played video games, and just really, chilled out until about 12:30. We snuck out and we done the usual walking around to about 1:30. We started making our way back when right below my house there's this church house, and I'm going to actually show you videos as you can see now. But as we walked back to the church house, we decided to chill there for a while. We actually ended up walking back towards my house until we had a feeling something was watching us. We looked all the way down at the end of the street where we think was a tree, but it looked like a person. To this day, we don't even know if that was a person or not, or if it was a tree, but we was about sure it was a person as it seemed like it was moving. However, we thought our mind was playing tricks on us, so we just kind of chilled at the church house for about 5 minutes, sat there talking, debating whether or not if we seen someone or not. But after about 5 minutes, I ended up looking into the window in the church house, and then that's when we saw it. The curtain was just open up barely where you could see a little bit of a white figure. It looked to be a woman in, a white gown or whatever. However, you couldn't really tell if it was a man or a woman. All you could really see is like white. I was sitting there in shock, and then that's when my buddy Evan seen it, and I asked him if he has seen the same thing as I was, and he agreed and said yes. We had goosebumps, and we all automatically felt like we was being watched. Feeling uneasy, we decided to take a few steps back. We continued to look at it until me and Evan looked at each other to talk about what we just saw, and within a flash, as soon as we looked at each other, when we looked back, there was nothing there, and the curtains was completely shut. Troubled, we decided to go home literally ASAP, and frightened. When we got back in, we went back there in the morning to investigate. Be mindful that I used to go to this church a lot, and I ain't really heard anything like haunting or anything about it, but it was definitely creepy. But anyways, we went back the next day during the daylight, and we definitely still felt uneasy. We didn't really see anything out of the ordinary. We know that I couldn't be hallucinating because both me and him seen it. Now, you could argue that our minds was playing tricks against us, but it seems very unlikely. From time to time, he still comes up, and anytime we walk by this place, we still feel that uneasy feeling. This next story is about me, my friend Josh, and my friend Landon. Just like the story before, they used to come up and stay all night with me all the time, except this time it was during sophomore year of high school. They was a little bit younger than me, but not much, only by about 3 years. They was about 3 years younger than me. They once again come stay all night, but this time we decided to sneak out. It would have been the first time Josh snuck out, actually, and it would only been Landon's second time, so they really thought it was a good idea. The only problem is it was in like the middle of January, and it was like 16 degrees outside, and it was going to get colder. However, we tried to dress as warm as we could, and then we decided to sneak out. The plan was we was going to go to a local park, and Josh was actually going to meet up with this girl, while me and Landon went ding-dong ditching. As we sat there and waited, I had to keep on giving Josh my hotspot as he didn't have any type of service, so after about 30 minutes, it got about 8 degrees outside, and it was starting to really get cold. The walk there wasn't too long as well, only taking us about 5 to 10 minutes. However, on top of waiting 30 minutes for a girl to show up for Josh, it was definitely getting frustrated. After a while, Josh said he was just going to sit here and wait as she was going to supposedly on her way to meet up with him. So me and Landon went on throughout my neighborhood, and we just started ding-dong ditching. You know, me and him would alternate and take turns, as it really seemed fun. However, things would really start taking a weird turn. After when we ding-dong ditched my old middle school teacher, Miss Hayes, you know, nothing ended up happening. The casual, they would walk outside, they would look around, then go back in. However, there is this particular house on the end of the street up on top of a hill that kind of sat to itself. We looked at it a lot, and we really wanted to ding-dong ditch it for a while now. So, me and Landon decided, why not? Since I was the last person to ding-dong ditch, it was actually Landon's turn this time. He ding-dong ditched it, and nothing happened. So, I decided to go with Landon the second time he done it. And we both done it at the same time. And it was really loud. You definitely couldn't have missed it. Anyways, after waiting a little bit, hiding behind a car, no one came out. However, there was a light on upstairs. We was in terror when we found out that dude must have went out the backyard and he was staring right at us. A matter of fact, he was trying to slowly sneak up on us. Me and Landon took off and he yelled at us, cursing and different things. We kind of chuckled as we was laughing. We made it back to Josh and we couldn't find Josh anywhere. Then he sent me a text saying that he decided to go home because he didn't live far from the park anyways. So, being frustrated, we decided about to head home until Josh said he wanted to come and hang out with us only moments after saying he just walked home. Well, we waited about an hour and a half for Josh to get there, which we have no clue why it took so long for him to come back, with him only living 5-10 minutes away as well from the park. Once he got there, I was pretty upset, both me and Landon, as it was like 6 degrees out. So we started heading back towards my house, and Landon wanted to ding-dong ditch one more house. As I said sure, I was also getting frustrated because it was getting pretty cold, and Josh and Landon was trying to stay out longer. And we really didn't have warm clothes either, so it was starting to get pretty cold. I decided that I was just going to walk home. I did, in fact, record Landon ding-dong ditching that house as I was going. However, Landon and both Josh caught up afterwards with nothing happening, unfortunately. And with it being cold, we was almost to like a bridge that would have like a straight shot to my house. And then that's when me and Landon seen the same guy from earlier. He was following us in his car. We crossed the bridge, and we knew that he couldn't cross the bridge with his car, as it's an older bridge, and you would have you have a drivable bridge, and then you have a normal bridge that's like almost 80 years old, and you could only walk across it. He actually got out of his car and started following us. Me and Landon sprinted. Josh was a little bit behind, but he caught up, and we got in the house, and that dude literally went almost to my house. However, he must have got confused and thought we went to another house, as he went up to my neighbor's the one that lives right in front of me, and he knocked on their door. These neighbors is actually drug dealers, and let's just say it caused a big fight. The cops got involved, and it was just a huge mess. The moral of the story is if you go ding-dong ditching, make sure who you ding-dong ditch and try and be safe. It's not nice to ding-dong ditch people, as it could be very rude, but kids is going to be kids. Although, sure, this is still a pretty scary story. When I was younger, I was always excited for Christmas, and most people would be, especially when you're younger. However, this time was different. One time, shortly after Christmas, it was about December 27th, and I ended up staying on night with my brother. Well, we done the usual brother stuff, hang out, play video games, and things like that, and everything was good. However, it started snowing like really bad, and his wife just recently got back. She was outside, and we was still playing video games, and until she came in and said that there was someone out there trying to get water off of her. Be mindful that this was like 1 in the morning, and she recently got back with pizza, so it was definitely weird. Well, we stepped outside, and he was just there. Our best guess, there was some dope head, and after chatting with him, we had to threaten to call the cops or anything else. He told us not to do meth, and that told us that he must be new on it, as he was tripping out. It was pretty creepy. That dude ended up coming back a couple more times, and we eventually had to call the cops to get him arrested. The moral of this story, even though it was short, is that definitely be aware of your surroundings, and you never know what is out there. More importantly, make sure you guys stay safe, and definitely know that dude could easily have robbed my brother's wife, but thankfully he didn't. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a good Christmas.